equal rights, just don't call it marriage. Well, to me, that's still not full equality.
This is Brandon Mueller Kim, and he has been happily married for the last 4 years. He is 33 years old and has lived in the Bay Area for his entire life. He welcomes me into his apartment with a warm smile and tells me that his husband, Roger, will soon be back from walking their 2 small Westies. He humbly invites me into their well-kept living room, trying to convince me that they should have cleaned before I arrived when we hear the front door open, and with it, the sound of scurrying paws. The rest of the family has joined us, and we will soon discuss the purpose of our meeting, the reversal of Proposition 8, and how it has affected their lives.
I mean, if we could have, we would have gotten married. I think within the first year of knowing each other. Straight couples could make that decision at any time in their life. And they could do it, at their own pace and on their own time frame.
All we want is to be treated the same as everyone else, and that's not special. That's the same.
On November 5th of 2008, California witnessed the passing of Proposition 8, the law that redefined marriage in the state of California as only that between a man and a woman.
This November, please vote yes on Proposition 8 and restore the definition of marriage that was already approved by 61% of the voters.
There was that limbo period, which we call it, after Prop 8 passed. Did not specify whether same-sex marriages already performed would be legal or not, so we had no idea whether we were still married or not. It was very strange.
Now, 4 years later, on February 7th of 2012, a 3-judge panel from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco announced that Proposition 8 is, in fact, unconstitutional. Rachel Maddow from MSNBC reports.
The court found that Proposition 8 served no purpose and had no effect other than to lessen the status and human dignity of gays and lesbians in California.
Former Solicitor General Ted Olson, one of the attorneys for the plaintiff, had this to say on the case.
There was no justification, there was no rational basis to single out gay and lesbian individuals in this country and take away rights from them or to deny rights from them.
One thing is for sure, there are many people in the Bay Area that agree with this stance.
I was actually very disappointed that a state like California would actually pass such a thing.
I think that there's nothing wrong with love, and consummating that love with a legal marriage is the absolute way you should go about it. And somebody telling you that you shouldn't based on a 2,000-year-old science fiction novel really bothers me.
Everyone goes through the same struggles and hopes for the same sorts of successes and hopes for that same good relationship between two people, and I don't think what sex either of the two people are make any difference in that.
And again, we're so very glad that the courts sided on the side of justice, freedom, equality, and marriage for all. And we're so very grateful to be here this day on the steps of justice, the steps of City Hall. And again, we're going to stand for equality, we're going to stand for love, we're going to stand for everyone to be included, that no one to be left out. Love prevail! Love prevail! Amen?
Where the difference comes and where I feel marriage is important is that it's the way others perceive you. And no one's goes out and says, I'm going to get domestically partnered or civil unionized. There's just no word or no institution that carries the weight of marriage.
And for many people, this brings the question of what are the differences between a domestic partnership and marriage. Is it just the word?
There are over 1,100 federal rights that we don't have. We can't inherit each other's Social Security. Filing taxes, which is something that every couple is doing right now, straight or gay, is an absolute nightmare for us. We have to we have to create, I should say, 4 tax returns.
There have been a lot of cases where, hospital visitation, for example, even in California, where domestic partners who are supposed to have the right to visit their partners in the hospital have been denied because nurses or doctors just don't understand what that is. You say we're married and they automatically know what that is.
can't imagine for him to have to deal with the loss of me and then suddenly have to face the loss of our house. You know, he shouldn't have to be worrying about a roof over his head at the same time that he's going through a grieving process.
People more and more are understanding that these are our American citizens, these are our brothers and our sisters, and we have got to treat them right, and we've got to treat them decently, and we've got to give them the same freedom and justice that we give to other people.
I think a big problem, like you mentioned, was that we don't have one singular leader to speak for everyone and that we can all rally behind.
I spent some time in the No on Prop 8 office in San Francisco. It was very worrisome. The office was pretty disorganized and was unable to make decisions at a local level and to be able to react to what was going on.
Some say that gay marriage doesn't have anything to do with schools.
But it has everything to do with schools.
The reasons that were articulated by the proponents throughout this litigation were found completely lacking by the Ninth Circuit and the court below it.
What will be next? On their agenda list is legalizing having sex with children. And this was something that you were putting out in order to convince people to vote for Proposition 8. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But the fight is not over yet. On February 21st, the Protect Marriage Coalition filed a petition for an en banc hearing that calls for the full panel of 11 jurors of the Ninth Circuit Court to rehear the case.
It's hard. After Prop 8, we put so much time and energy into fighting that I was done for a long time. I didn't want to get involved very much. It was very draining. It is very sad that other people get to vote on what you get to do, what should be your right.
The rights of any minority group should never be voted on by the majority.
It's a hard thing. It has to be the Supreme Court that says it's a fundamental right, and I don't think they're going to be there for a long time.